Fox Carolina News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And we are following breaking news in Greenwood. We can see the Black Lives Matter protest and march is about to get underway. It was set for 4 p.m. this afternoon. We are monitoring the situation. We know there's been a lot of things spread on social media. The sheriff's office and Greenwood police say they have been monitoring this. They have no intel that these big buses are heading to Greenwood. That has been spread through the community there. But again, they're out there to protect the protesters and the community, and we'll have a live report coming up. Plus, the Sheriff Kelly, will be joining us at the top of the 5 o'clock hour to talk about what's happening in Greenwood and Greenwood County. And also breaking at this hour, the state of Minnesota files a civil rights charge against the Minneapolis Police Department. It has nothing to do with what's happening in Asheville, but again, or this is Asheville, I should say. We'll go to Asheville here, where the third straight day of protests are underway.
And a mandatory curfew in Asheville will go into effect tonight after police and rioters clashed last night. You could see some of those intense moments in this video here, and more video when fireworks were set off in the crowd, all while protesters were yelling and chanting at police. And thank you for joining us on the 4 o'clock news. I'm Victoria Carmen.
And I'm Cody Alcorn. We are monitoring the Black Lives Matter protest in Greenwood. I do apologize for the confusion at the top of the show. Let's go to Carrie. She's live in Greenwood.
Hey Cody, we're here downtown Greenwood, right near the fountain that most people know about here off of South Main Street. As you can see behind me, there's roughly about 30 or so individuals that have shown up so far. Of course, the event was scheduled to start at 4. I spoke earlier with the co-founder of the Greenwood chapter of Black Lives Matter, and he said that the plan is for them to air their grievances here at the fountain and to begin to march down South Main, where they'll make a small loop and come back up to this area. He says what they expect is peaceful protests. They're asking everyone that comes out to also be mindful of that. As you can also see, there is law enforcement presence here from both city and county. As we were making our way to downtown earlier today, we noticed that a lot of businesses have already closed early just to take safe precautions in lieu of what's going on here tonight. We're going to stay out here. We'll keep you updated as the event proceeds. In Greenwood, I'm Carrie Weimer, Fox Carolina, the 4 o'clock news.
All right, Carrie, thanks so much. And as mentioned, we'll be talking to Sheriff Kelly coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. And the Greenwood County Sheriffs did put out a statement. They say we are aware of the protest, but we have no idea as to whether it will be 10 people or 100 or even more. The Greenwood City Police Department is the jurisdiction which the protest is occurring in, but we are prepared for the worst, although we have no credible intel that it will be violent.
Now, all of these protests, of course, in light of the death of George Floyd, who died last week while under arrest. Video shows Officer Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes. While pleading for air, Floyd told the officer he couldn't breathe. He became unconscious and was later pronounced dead. Now, there are conflicting autopsy results about what caused his death. Both find he died by homicide, but one says he died of mechanical asphyxiation. The other says heart failure complicating law enforcement subdual restraint and neck compression. Now, Officer Chauvin now fired and charged with third-degree murder. 3 other officers seen holding Floyd down in another video have yet to be charged.
And a live look in Asheville, where protests are continuing for the 3rd straight day. Unrest broke out in Asheville overnight. Police say what started peacefully quickly turned chaotic as fireworks were shot. Gunshots were fired as well into the air. Police had to use pepper spray and tear gas to break up the crowd. Fortunately, no one was shot from those shots fired after the midnight hour, and 11 people were actually arrested.
And a viewer sent us this video of a group burning the American flag. The Vance statue was spray painted with graffiti, several storefronts, windows smashed in. Now, we did speak with the viewer who sent us this video. He says he believes most people were there to protest peacefully.
I think the overall group did not want violence. There were multiple times where the megaphone was used to announce that it was a peaceful protest, to encourage people to remain peaceful, to let everybody know that they didn't want any reason to start a riot. You know, they wanted everybody to be peaceful. They wanted everyone to be calm. And it was said multiple times. They had triages set up. They had people with water. They wanted this protest to be peaceful. And the group that interfered with that was very, very small.
SWAT and Asheville police cleared the streets by about 2:30 this morning. Now, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper addressed the issue today.
Many places did not see violence carry over from the weekend, and that's good. But some did. And we're continuing to provide state support as requested.
The governor says we cannot lose sight of the reason nonviolent protesters are in the streets. Meanwhile, in downtown Spartanburg, protesters lined the streets yesterday afternoon. We did see one fight break out, but law enforcement responded quickly. We also saw those officers standing side by side with protesters. And today, more than 60 leaders of Spartanburg's faith community came together not just to pray, but to call people to action. The Spartanburg Clergy Initiative says it will work with law enforcement, city officials, and leaders across all faiths to condemn injustice. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle brings us their message and what they say must happen.
Listen, Spartanburg! Can you not hear your brother's blood crying to me from the ground? But can I tell you, I'm mad as that offend you, I'm sorry. But I know we are in a rush to get to a place that we can go back to business as usual. But the problem is that's why America is in the position that she's in.
We do need your prayers. We need everybody's prayers. But praying is not enough. And while we advocate, yes, for peaceful protests, that's not enough. We must have immediate legislative forms. We must have equitable policies. We must have practices of public systems that are involved from direct actions.
I want you to have this same energy November when it's time to vote, that we can bring people out of office that create laws that cause this to happen, that create policies that embolden police in broad daylight to kill a man and feel like it's all right.
We say that the time is now. And today, Spartanburg City and Spartanburg County, and to the other, what is yet to be the United States of America, we ask that you join the movement.
Amen.